Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brave Fence and Musashi Commentary. Continuing our raid through Soda Fountain, one of my favorite music tracks playing in the background right now. We got grenades. We're just gonna blow shit up. I'm fine with that. Look at all this lag though. Holy fuck.
Blow shit up, or you mean run away?
Well, yeah. No, I want to hold on to the BP because the only things that really matter here are the barriers that we're gonna see in a moment here. Unfortunately, ignoring all the enemies does cause the game to chug like a son of a bitch. But right here,
Wait, is this a Contra boss?
I couldn't tell you.
It's like from the back sections in Contra 1.
This section of the game does kind of look like Contra, yeah.
Hey, it might be intentional then.
Maybe. I mean, it always is. This isn't the first time like a hack and slash fantasy RPG action RPG has gone full techno action at the end. Light Crusader on Sega Genesis, which is a treasure game, I believe. It's like you play most of the game as this blonde knight in armor with a sword, but then you get to like the bottom levels of the dungeon and suddenly you're in like a modern world fighting tanks for some reason. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
Spyro 1 was, fantasy, and then all of a sudden everyone has machine guns at the end.
Hey, if you want to talk about the gameplay, the second Ys game, that's Wise for people who aren't super familiar. By the time you get the fire attack, the game basically becomes a bullet hell because you can't run your face into the bosses, so you have to shoot them.
Oh yeah, in one of the routes in Three Houses, you're in like a futuristic techno base and it's playing dubstep.
What?
Oh, that would probably be, yeah, when you start going after those who slither in the dark.
Yeah.
What?
It's very weird. They have like lasers and swooshy doors and everything.
Those who slither in the dark have like all this weird ancient technology that they use,
which is more advanced than the current technology. Because
of course, it's an RPG. Yeah, that's how it works. But okay, I guess Intelligent Systems just really wants to make that sci-fi Fire Emblem game, because they've been talking about it since Awakening, the one that's set on Mars or the Moon or whatever it is.
It's kind of a weird jump.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because they're all just, your basic high fantasy. So changing the setting, makes... Seriously, John, have you considered, like, dodging from time to time, maybe?
If I blow it up, it won't have a chance to shoot at me.
Oh, my God. Anyway, like, I can imagine that, doing the same setting time from over and over again would get pretty stale as a developer. So, I could, see just randomly making it a space game.
I mean that's partially why they made Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Well, I mean that's partially why they were originally planning on making Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Then it became a Persona game, but Martha's in it.
I kind of get where you're coming from. At the same time, I think sometimes creators underestimate the flexibility of the settings that they're focused on simply because they've done the same thing in them for so long that they lose the ability to think outside the narrative box.
Who's the real leader anyways?
This isn't a rave party. There's not enough flashing lights.
Are we seriously going to DDR with each other?
More like Simon. It's more like Simon Says.
There's also no crazy old Maurice in here raving last night. I love that gif.
That's a good one. Huh.
This is seriously a DDR throwdown arena. Come on.
Get Russ. Get Russ.
It's time to get funky for the fate of the world.
Oh God, I thought I was joking about it being DDR.
It's more Simon Says.
Yeah.
Well, I know, like, in terms of what you're doing with your controller, it's Simon Says, but it's DDR. Come on. That's what they're doing in Universe.
This is also not dancing, it's jumping. Oh, wait, no, she used her arms there. Okay. I guess that's slightly dancing.
Well, that's basically what DDR is. Let's be real here. No one actually dances on a DDR pad unless they're just showing off. You dance with more than your feet, but you don't play DDR with anything but your feet.
No, you can use your hands if you're improvising.
Or
Sure.
if you're bad,
If you-
like me, you're just
They ever
gripping
play
that bar for
you play Pump It
goddamn
Up.
life.
Play Pump It Up or In the Groove.
You can use your hands. It won't do anything for you in game, but you can use your hands. Sure.
You put your hands on two of the arrows and your other feet on the other two, and then you use your hands for DDR.
Yeah, let's call him having a stroke.
That's not playing DDR. That's playing fast-paced Twister. Okay.
What I want to know is why is there no DDR that has the electric slide? Because everyone here would know that.
That's why they don't put it in. It'd be too easy.
Aw.
Can you keep up with this?
I'm not gonna lie though. Every time I hear that song, I cringe inside because it reminds me of my first job when I worked at a skating rink, and like the same 5 songs played over and over and over and over.
What were the other songs, out of curiosity, if you can remember that?
Everybody clap your hands.
That's Cha Cha Slide.
Yeah.
Cha-Cha Slide.
Yeah.
Another grade school favorite.
Yeah.
Macarena or Cotton Eye Joe?
Well, yeah, Cotton Eye Joe is one of them. I don't
Mambo number 5.
I don't know if the Macarena ever got played there.
Well, that was probably by like the 2000s, right? That it would have
Yeah,
been.
I was gonna say the Macarena was 1995 and only 1995.
When's the Macarena gonna come back?
You know, the
Never.
most infuriating thing about the place I worked though was that okay, they used to have a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade cabinet, but by the time I worked there, it was gone, and they replaced it with just like lame carnival games and stuff, rather than having, you know, real arcade machines.
Why does she have plates stapled to her head?
They're not plates, they're mouse ears. They're totally mouse ears and not glass plates at all.
We're also not trying we're also totally not trying to cramp a certain mouse's style. Please don't sue us.
Disney is surprisingly popular in Japan, actually.
What I always wonder is how come Mickey always has 2 ears no matter which direction he's facing?
The same reason why Goku's hair always changes depending on the angle that he's watching.
The same reason Sonic's mouth switches to each side of his face depending on where the camera is facing.
Did
Or
she
you can just be
literally
Supersonic it.
Yeah,
dance herself to
she
death?
danced herself to death, yes.
Or Lewis, you can be like Supersonic in Lost World and have 2 mouths on one on each side of the face.
You can never be too safe.
This game's bizarre.
This game actually gets kind of dark for no reason whatsoever.
Wait, did she actually die?
Yeah, she danced herself to death.
What?
We straight up killed Ben because he just stands still and we can't interact with him anymore. I mean, we saw Ed die, and Topo danced to death.
That didn't nearly last long enough for that to happen, though.
Well, she said anyway.
Yeah.
What am I fighting for? Inuyasha Kakome
Atreyu!
Artax.
I have no idea
sorry,
what
Falcor,
you
my
just
bad.
referenced, Ted.
Never-ending story.
Never-ending story.
Oh.
Atreyu.
Falcor!
Atreyu.
Falcor!
Atreyu.
Falcor, come on. Let's go.
SpongeBob.
Never-ending Story is one of those things. It's like the movie is not very good, but people remember it anyway.
The first of Never-Ending Story is a great movie. All right. The joke is that the Never-Ending Story nearly was never-ending because they made like 6 sequels. It was like The Land Before Time.
Each progressively worse.
Oh yeah, of course.
The other joke is that they only adapted like half of the first book, so they never got to the actual end of the Never-Ending Story.
Hold on. How many Never-Ending Stories were there? Hold on. Look, I'm gonna have
Well, I
like.
mean, if it's never ending, then wouldn't the number be just infinite?
Yeah, but John, we also live in a world with Final Fantasies 2 through 15. All right, so names don't mean jack shit.
There's an anime actually pokes fun of that because he's stuck with like retro technology, so he has to get it from like other areas. So he's like, there's how many in the series? There's nothing final about it.
All right, hold on a moment. Never-Ending Story film. Okay, Wikipedia. Lay it on me. There was a remake? Oh, no. There was going to be a remake in, like, 2010, but it never actually happened. Okay.
That's too bad because they probably could have done an actually decent never-ending story adaptation.
Probably, yeah.
It's like one of those things where like those were movies made before the Lord of the Rings made like fantasy movie series popular. So it was really cheesy and like hokey and never got a proper full series.
No, the first one they
Kinda.
actually tried.
Yeah, oh, there were only 3. I remembered there being like 5. I guess I was misremembering there. There was some other series that got like 5.
Ryan, yes,
similar.
they tried, but it was the era where even when you tried, you couldn't do fantasy without being at least a little bit hokey.
Yeah,
So-
but
I
at the
know.
same time, the hokiness was part of the point. You know, like that movie
Kid
is.
protagonist, everything's a puppet.
It's like it's part of why people remember it, but it's not part of the point exactly.
Well, I mean, it's part of the charm, I suppose.
They did want to make like good cinema that you could take seriously. They just didn't have the means to entirely achieve that goal. It's like, you know, I'm sure Raimi's Spider-Man was supposed to be something you could take seriously, but it doesn't. So,
Hey, man, our tracks in the swamp is gonna make me cry till the end.
Why
of time,
is the
all right?
horse depressed?
Because he's in a freaking swamp. All right, man. It's the swamp of sadness. Okay.
anyway, my point is it was an adaptation of a book, and the book is like way more serious than the movie is in every aspect. And part of that is because old fantasy movies are hokey. Just by default. They couldn't avoid it. Oh.
Wait, hold on. If they're all eyes, does that mean they're all the
boop 'em.
weak point?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they're eyes, just boop them.
No, it doesn't work that way.
This game is not a true video game, then.
This is the final crest guard. This is the Tower of Death, located inside the soda fountain itself.
Okay.
I don't know what it's doing here, but whatever. And this boss is actually not too bad. The biggest challenge is just getting used to the sky scroll controls because you ascend by holding down the jump button, and you lower yourself by letting go of jump. And
Oh, so it's one of those things where you have to tap it at the right rhythm in order to maintain your
basically, yes.
So it's like worse Mario
Yeah.
swimming.
It technically has the most health of all the Crest Guardians so far because you have to strike the core, like, I think 12 times. You're given more than enough opportunity to strike it, but this boss also has multiple phases. The worst being the eyeballs, because the eyeballs will open, they'll stare at you for a second, they'll close and then open up again. You need to look for the safe spot. If you get hit by the rings, you not only take a lot of damage, but your controls are temporarily reversed.
Oof.
And then it immediately goes into like the wall phase, and you're flustered, and suddenly you're losing a lot of health fast.
And you gotta look for like one of the eyes that's
Yeah.
closed.
So all the eyes open up now, they close, and then they open up again. You gotta look for the one that's not open, so that you can avoid the rings.
Right.
And is the green one there after that?
Yeah. The green, the core is only exposed when it's spinning during this phase and during lasers.
Oh.
The only thing about this phase is that it looks like it's really hard to see when it's open for attack.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can only
It's
see so
a
many
it's a
at
hunting
time.
game. You're looking for the damn eye.
You kind of just have to flit up and down as they spin around and hope you spot it before
Yeah.
it closes.
And it will close and relocate if you're not fast enough.
That does look like the most interesting boss so far, though.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's non-standard. Like, since it's so focused on the sky scroll, it doesn't really utilize many of the core mechanics. But
No, it's pretty much a boss confined to its own design.
yeah,
You know, because of the sky scroll. Oh boy, we
can't-
got the last crest that we're gonna liberate it. Oh, Hitler, what the hell?
what the hell? Indeed, who is this?
This is Fear Flatsky. He's the leader of Third Squadron Empire. We've seen him a couple of times earlier in the game.
Huh?
But this is the first time we've seen him out of a chair.
Thirst Quencher Empire, huh? You're the big cheese.
So is Flatsky like flat soda? Or
Maybe?
Okay.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
To give orders and complain about everything. What a life you have. Do you know how many lives you've destroyed?
Wait. So
aren't
is this
you-
one of those things where he doesn't like his boss, but he only turns on his boss at the last minute?
Well, no, it's more like. I mean, if it isn't obvious who Capricola is at this point.
Ever since you killed my parents.
Dun
My
dun
parents
dun!
are dead.
Do not remember killing your parents. Remember this?
I don't remember killing your parents.
Steve Bloom.
Yeah. This is something that I kind of just like figured from the get-go because unfortunately, Steve Bloom's performance as Capricola is literally no fucking different than his performance as John. So I'm thinking that sounds a lot like John. It's John, isn't it? Yeah, it's John.
Well, at the same time, you can't always count on that because, like, sometimes they.
I would like someone to do that on purpose as a misdirection.
Sometimes they use like really distinctive voice actors for different characters just thoughtlessly. One of my favorite examples of that is what's the name of the guy who like does the that really like deep voice that you hear from like Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame and stuff. Oh,
About the actor himself, or
the actor, yes.
I'd have to look it up.
Did he just get shot in the back?
Yeah.
So the dramatic reveal was pointless?
Yeah, someone just got fucking shot in the back with a gun.
So why was he helping them? Why was he helping them when that guy killed his dad or whatever?
Oh, he was looking for the opportunity to get to Flatsky, I guess, and with a fully powered Musashi, I think he was planning on just having Musashi help him.
Or he could have just asked for
Shoot him
help.
in the back, yeah. Nah, because then Musashi probably wouldn't do it because it's like, maybe there's another way of doing this. I don't know. Again, undercooked, undeveloped,
Wait, did he give him? Why did he give him the sword?
because he's threatening the princess.
Oh, okay.
But then he gives the princess afterwards, so luckily she bounces.
Okay.
I do like the subtle foreshadowing though with John's allegiance. If you have been paying attention to the theming here, as I mentioned earlier, how all the good characters are named after food, and all the villains are named after drinks. Capricola can be both.
What?
It has the name. The last four letters of it is cola, which is a drink, but Capricola is a meat.
Oh.
So if you picked up on the theme early on, then you can get an idea that Capricola is actually a good guy in disguise.
Oh.
What if they named him Soup instead?
That would be troublesome. No, if they name them after a well, not so much name him after a soup, but name him chicken broth.
No, his name is just Soup.
Oh, just
What
soup.
What the? Did he just summon the Fantasia demon?
Chernobog.
What the hell?
All right, so the true purpose of Lumina is releasing this thing, Dark Lumina, the Wizard of Darkness. It was sealed within Lumina a long time ago, and by liberating all the scrolls, Flatsky was able to release the Wizard of Darkness from its prison.
Ouch.
It is the devil from Fantasia.
Is Lumina the sword that talked to us?
Yeah, well, there's a voice inside Lumina. I like to think in my personal headcanon it's this dude that was talking with us. Because
Well,
he
yeah,
has
it
the same vocal effect, yeah.
Like, what's going on?
So are you not allowed to use that sword during the fight?
No, you are. Lumina comes back to you.
Why?
Because at the end of the day, it's a sword.
Yeah, but I thought the wizard
Like
was
there's
the
this
sword.
there's the spirit in the sword, and then there's the sword itself.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the sword because its name is Lumina.
Is Lumina, yeah. Well, Dark Lumina. It's evil.
Also, could be an Echo Fighter.
Yeah. Oh, what an Echo Fighter. You have the original character, which is just a sword, and the
I
Echo
like
Fighter
how-
is a 50-foot tall demon.
I like how they go to the trouble of including a loincloth on the model, but if you view it from any angle but the front, the loincloth is like awkwardly pushed forward so that you can see there's Ken doll under there.
I also like that he just has the abs drawn on. I should try that and see how well it
he's got
works.
spray on abs.
Hey,
Steve Bloom, no.
you joke, but that's the thing. Like, okay, Edward Cullen in the Twilight movies, his abs, I'm sorry to disappoint you ladies, they're fake. They're like a combination of lighting effects and like makeup. So
Wait,
yeah.
that's literally a strong bad email joke, though. Like, I'm not even joking. Somebody actually did that. Like, there's a joke at one point where he takes a marker, draws abs on his stomach, and then sells it as a product. And they did that in real life. Wow. Okay.